everyone, this time on Pun in the Oven I'm going to be making Portuguese tarts. So this is a request from Jake. He specifically asked that I make some tarts and it's my first time, so giving it a go. Bit of history, fun facts. Portuguese tarts actually originated around medieval times when in the monasteries they used to use egg whites for stiffening nuns' habits. So because they produced so many eggs, they also needed something to use the egg yolks. So my understanding is that the egg yolks were often used in other confectionery by the monastery. So yay, Portuguese tarts. So what I'm going to do here is just quickly grease my muffin tin. And here are the ingredients you're going to need. Alright, my first ingredient is 3 eggs. You can see I've already separated the whites from the yolks. We're only going to use the yolks for this recipe. I am going to post another recipe on YouTube which will use the egg whites, and that will be for Greek almond biscuits. Then we've got 115 grams of caster sugar. I'm going to use just 2 tablespoons of corn flour, 500 mils of milk. You can also use a mixture of cream and milk if you want to use half and half, but I'm just going to use milk for this. 1 sheet of puff pastry which I've let thaw out of the freezer, and it's about 170 grams worth. 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Okay, so I'm getting a pan and I'm going to put my egg yolks and my sugar and 2 tablespoons of corn flour. Pop those in my pan and I'm going to whisk them together. So this is obviously going to form the basis of our custard that goes in the centre of our Portuguese tarts. Alright, once everything's combined, you end up with a nice pale yellow colour like that. Secondly, we need to pop in 500 mils of milk. I've got my matryoshka doll measuring cups. Those matryoshka dolls are so full of themselves. So, we need 2 cups obviously for 500 mils. And whisk that all up. So once that's all smooth, I'm going to pop it on the stove at a medium heat and gradually increase the heat and keep whisking until it thickens a little. Okay, so once it starts to boil and it's gotten a bit thicker, I'm taking it off the stove and I'm going to stir in my vanilla. So 2 teaspoons of vanilla. So once that's stirred in, I need to transfer it to a bowl and cover it in cling wrap. Yum. You know you've done something right when it smells like custard. That smells amazing. Okay, I'm just going to cover this with cling wrap. And we're going to leave it aside until it's cooled down completely. Alright, now it's time to make the pastry. I'm going to preheat my oven to about 180 fan force Celsius, and if you don't have fan force it's about 200 degrees Celsius, and that's about 390 degrees Fahrenheit. Alright, we take our pastry sheet and we're going to cut it in half. And then we're going to lay 1 sheet on top of the other. You can obviously just cut pieces out of the puff pastry if you want to do it that way, but I'm in fact halving the amount that's supposed to go in this recipe. So what I'm going to do is just roll it up and cut it and then roll it back out with a rolling pin. So it just ends up using less pastry. Alright, so roll it up and I'm going to cut it into 12 pieces. And I'm using the beautiful pine rolling pin that I got from Jake's parents, Marianne and Josh. Thanks guys. It's all the way from Tasmania and it smells amazing. Just roll them up into balls and then I'm just going to lightly flour my work surface and roll these out. So as you can see, I've got a nice round, it's about 10 centimeters in diameter, and I'm just going to pop it into the muffin tin. Perfect. So I'll just do the same with the other 12 pieces. So you can see I've lined them all with the puff pastry, and I'm now going to grab my wibbly wobbly custard that's been sitting over the side and just spoon it into my pastry cases. And then these are going into my prepared oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. And when the custard and the pastry are golden, I'll pop them out. Alright, so those are done. Check that out. Nicely browned on the top and still a little bit squidgy in the middle. So obviously leave them to cool and you can take them out and enjoy them while they're hot, but obviously you can have them at room temperature as well. And they should keep in the fridge for probably about a week. That's it. Alright, enjoy the recipe and see you next time on Pun in the Oven.